cool cats and kittens. Whoops, that's the wrong show. We are the Mystery History Podcast. This is Allison and
Jordan.
He's my brother. And we are going to be talking about the 27 Club today.
Yes.
Jordan did a lot of research for this.
Yeah. It's not going to be good.
No. But we've been talking about doing a podcast for a really long time. And now with this coronavirus, kind of kicked us in the ace to get it done.
Got nothing else to do.
So here we are. So Jordan, how's your day?
Good. How was your day?
You loving it?
I'm loving it.
We got some Panda Express for lunch before this. It was delicious.
Feel a little bloated.
A little bloated.
A little full of MSG.
The best. So we decided to do our first show on the 27 Club. And I did some research for this. George didn't, so he's just going to kind of jump in when he has got something to say.
I'll be learning too,
So what is the 27 Club? Jordan?
Bunch of musicians. Is it musicians or like actors too?
Oh, man.
Just musicians, right?
You're talking. You tell me.
Musicians that died at 27.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, the 27 Club is an unofficial name given to a group of artists. So they're both.
Gotcha.
Who tragically died at the age of 27. Supposedly, they died under suspicious circumstances.
Gotcha.
And some are claimed to be cursed. Some of the members also said that they predicted that they were going to join this club. So whenever people hear of the 27 Club, they mainly think of four members, which is Brian Jones, who is in the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison of the Doors.
Yep.
And all of those members died between 1969 and 1971.
Oh, well.
So that's like where this whole thing got started. So I got a list of all of the people that I found to be a part of this 27 Club. And I was just kind of gonna go through them and briefly describe who they were and what kind of circumstances led up to their death. I do want to note, though, that I did go on a website called Forever 27. And if you Google it, it's a UK website. And there was tons and tons of other people that were also supposedly a part of this 27 Club. So just to go over the first person who, was kind of the founder of this terrible club is Robert Johnson. And he was born in 1911 and he died in 1938. He lived in rural Mississippi and he was a blues singer and guitarist. He garnered little attention through his lifetime, but was rediscovered in the 1960s. And allegedly, he sold his soul to the devil in exchange for this guitar talent that he has.
Right. I think I read about him, actually.
Yeah.
Because they said that the devil came and got him when he was 27.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So he recorded 29 songs between 1936 and 1937. And he loved his women and whiskey. And apparently he was poisoned by a lover's jealous boyfriend or husband.
So not the devil.
Could have been the devil.
Might have been the devil.
So, and I thought the devil went down to Georgia, not to Mississippi.
Close enough.
I guess.
Next door.
Yeah. So that's kind of where all this started, with him selling his soul to the devil. The second one is Brian Jones. He is a member of the Rolling Stones with Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. He developed a severe substance abuse problem by the 1960s, had taken his toll on his health and landed him in jail and alienated him from his bandmates. He was forced out of the group in 1969, and the following month he was found dead at the bottom of a swimming pool. Police reported that he had drowned while under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Recent evidence suggests it might be foul play, but that's really
recent
all.
evidence.
Yeah.
From the
So,
60s?
yeah. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away. So, they think that somebody had a hand in his death.
Plot thickens.
Dun, dun, dun.
Probably Mick Jagger got mad.
Yeah. I don't know.
Killed him.
Killed. D-E-D.
Killed him dead.
So then the next guy we've got is Alan Blind Owl Wilson. He was known as Blind Owl because of, why do you think?
Was he blind?
Ooh, close. He had poor vision.
Close enough.
He headed up the American blues band Canned Heat, which I've never heard of before in my life.
No.
But they performed at Woodstock in 1969.
Huh.
He was a songwriter, guitarist, and harmonica player. And he famously retaught the aging blues legend Son House, who had been living in obscurity for decades, how to play his own songs. He struggled with mental illness and had previously attempted suicide, but he succumbed to a drug overdose in 1970, becoming the first of 3 acclaimed musicians to die at the age of 27 that year.
Oh, well. He taught the guy how to play his own music? What does that mean?
Means he must have forgot. It's hard out there.
I guess.
That's what drugs will do to you, so stay away from drugs, kids.
Get your own music.
The next, one of the most famous, is Jimi Hendrix. He was born in 1942 and died in 1970. He was remembered as one of the greatest electric guitarists in history. I believe that to be true.
I would agree, yeah.
He revolutionized rock and roll as both an artist and a producer during his brief 4-year career. He died in London in September 1970, asphyxiating.
Nice.
Asphyxiating.
That's a word.
On his own vomit while asleep. His girlfriend claimed that Hendrix, a heavy drug user who was particularly fond of LSD, had washed down a handful of sleeping pills with red wine before going to bed. That's how I like to sleep. I don't know.
That's a deep, deep sleep.
Deep sleep. So then we got Janis Joplin, 1943 to 1970. She was born in Texas and won over the San Francisco music scene with her bluesy vocals. She was first a lead singer of Big Brother and the Holding Company and later a solo artist. Despite multiple attempts to get clean, she became increasingly addicted to heroin and alcohol. She died of a heroin overdose in October 1970, less than 3 weeks after the death of fellow rock icon Jimi Hendrix. Jim Morrison. He was a poet. I know, he was so dreamy. That's sad. A poet and an avid reader of philosophy, Jim Morrison rose to prominence as a lead singer and lyricist of The Doors. My fave. Mm-hmm. He founded it with his friend in 1965. By 1969, his drinking had become a problem, making him late for performances and fueling crazy on-stage behavior. He died of a heart attack in 1971, apparently caused by a heroin overdose while living in Paris. I didn't know he was in Paris. Mm-hmm. It's thought that he mistook the drug for cocaine and snorted a fatal amount.
That's what he is. His grave's in Paris.
Oh, really?
That big tomb where everybody paints on it and stuff.
Yeah.
There's it's one of the biggest things in Paris.
Next, we got Ron Pigpen McKernan. He was the founding member of the Grateful Dead. He went by the nickname Pigpen. He did not share his bandmates' draw to LSD and other psychedelic drugs. However, his heavy drinking caused him to develop cirrhosis of the liver in 1970, and by 1972, his health had become so fragile he could no longer tour. He died of an internal hemorrhage in March 1973.
Wow, that'd be rough.
The next one is the big one that everybody knows, is Kurt Cobain. However, I think I got some tidbits that maybe not everybody knows.
Uh-oh. Inside information.
Insider information. So, he was born in 1967 and died in 1994. An icon of the Seattle grunge scene, Kurt Cobain formed Nirvana with his friends in 1985. The band achieved mainstream success in the early 1990s. Under the glaring spotlight, Cobain struggled with mental illness, chronic health problems, and a heroin addiction. He committed suicide in April 1994, leaving his wife, Courtney Love, and their baby daughter. So, a tidbit that maybe not everybody knows is that excuse me, Cobain's mother, Wendy O'Connor, famously said after Kurt's death was, "Now he's gone and joined that stupid club. I told him not to go join that stupid club." So it sounds to me like Kurt had thought, that he might not make it past the age of 27. Stranger still, so Courtney Love started a band called Hole, which is terrible.
Isn't everything she did terrible?
Yeah. And Kristen Pfaff, I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Pfaff. She was born in 1967 and died in 1994, 2 months after Kurt, from a heroin overdose. So I didn't know that they were only 2 months apart. So maybe it's Courtney. That's what I'm thinking.
The link between the two.
I've solved the mystery. Okay, the next one's Amy Winehouse. Everybody knows about her. She was born in 1983 and died in 2011. She battled drug and alcohol addiction for years. She was most known for her hit Rehab, which obviously didn't work.
Yep.
On July 23, 2011, she was found dead in her London apartment, becoming the latest musician to have their career cut tragically short at the age of 27. So then those are the main people that everybody probably knows about. So here's a couple that I found that I didn't know about. So I am, how old am I? 33?
Yeah.
So if you are a 33-year-old female, if you Google this name, you will know him, and I'm sure you loved him like I did at the ripe old age of 13. So his name is Jonathan Brandis. He was born in 1976 and died in 2003. He was a child actor, and he gained fame from his part on One Life to Live, which I don't remember that show.
No.
And you probably don't know who I'm talking about either. But if
Jonathan Brandis.
But if you Googled his face, you'd be like, "Yep, that's him," and he's a hottie.
Huh?
You know?
Should I Google him?
Google him.
Let's see.
And look up what else he was on.
Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. See?
Oh, yeah. He was on like a bunch of Disney channels.
Wasn't he on like Growing Pains too, maybe?
I think you're right. Let me see here.
I think that's where I would know him from. Or like where most people.
Blossom Elliott Law, Who's the Boss, Murder, She Wrote, The Wonder Years, Full House.
Ah, yes.
Yep. Never Ending Story. That's what I remember.
Never Ending Story. Yeah. So I didn't know that. He's also in Stephen King's It, like the old miniseries from the 90s.
Yeah.
And he died by suicide. So I didn't know about him being a part of the 27 Club. Then there's another guy, Richie Edwards. He was born in 1967 and died in 95. He was a guitarist for the Manic Street Preachers, a Welsh punk band. Apparently he disappeared on February 1st in 1995. 2 weeks later, his car was found near Severn Bridge. They believed he jumped off, but they never found his body.
Wow.
So, and then, wow. So he was finally declared dead in 2008.
13 years later?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Man, that's awful for his family. That'd be...
Yeah.
Just thinking he's out there. Oh.
Crazy. So the other one is Anton Yelchin. He was born in 1989, died in 2016. He was, I loved him so much. If you Google him, you know who he is too.
I know who he is. Yeah,
so he was in Taken, the miniseries by Stephen King in 2002 when he was just 12 years old. Years later, he played his famous character in another science fiction series, Pavel Chekhov, in Star Trek. I know him from Fright Night, the new one with, what's his name?
Oh, Colin Farrell? Yeah,
Colin Farrell, Charlie Bartlett, and Alpha Dog. That's how I know him.
You ever seen the movie Green Room? Oh, it's good.
Is it scary?
They're kind of. They're in a punk band, and then they go to this like neo-Nazi nightclub, but they don't know it's a neo-Nazi nightclub. What? And they see somebody kill a guy, and then they get like trapped by the nut. It's good.
What? Spoiler alert! Does he die?
I don't know. Can I watch it?
Alpha Dog.
That was a sad.
That was depressing.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah. So anyway, he was actually, this is really sad. He had gotten out of his car and his car wasn't in park and rolled down the hill and pinned him in between his car and a brick pillar.
That was the, he used the emergency brake and it failed.
Yeah.
It's like an electronic emergency brake. His family got a bunch of money because it was a Jeep in it.
Yeah.
It was like a big, I think they had to do a recall because of that.
Yeah. So, how terrible.
That would have be so helpless.
Yeah, and I feel like he would have gone on to do a lot of great things, as a lot of these people would. And the last one I have is Jean Michael Besquet. He was born in 1960 and died in 1988. He was a neo-impressionist and graffiti artist. He died of a heroin overdose in his Manhattan art studio. So those are the people that I have. While I was doing my research, I found a couple other interesting things. Like, I didn't know about this. So apparently associated with this 27 club, there is some of the members of this club apparently had a white Bic lighter on them when they died. I didn't know that. So some of these were Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and Kurt Cobain. So upon...
Get that.
Riley?
Get that.
Riley Dog is our third wheel here. No, here. You take that.
Let's cut that out.
Okay. So anyways, so this white Bic lighter, Jimmy, Janice,
Classic.
Janice, Jim, and Kurt all supposedly had this white Bic lighter on their bodies whenever they passed. Snoops published an article in 2017 stating that Bic did not start producing those white disposable lighters until several years after some of the deaths of the members. But...
I always heard that too.
But... Have you ever had a lighter where the paper comes off of it?
Peel it off?
They're all white.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
it doesn't matter if they start producing
that could have happened, or they're artistes. They could have painted it white.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would be even creepier.
Yeah.
They all painted them?
Yeah. Well, it's creepy that Kurt Cobain said that he was going to join that club.
That is weird.
I wouldn't want to join that club.
He's also married.
How old are you?
Crazy. 26.
Ooh.
Getting close.
Yeah. So, so I don't know. I don't know how much of that is true because, like I said, I think all of them are white underneath the paper.
Yeah.
So Gene Simmons, another fun fact, Gene Simmons wrote a book about the 27 Club. I've yet to read it yet, but I'm planning on it. And it's called the book, The Legend and Mythology of the 27 Club.
He wrote it?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's a Renaissance man.
No, he's a writer.
He does everything. And then upon my final kind of tidbit on this is apparently science states.
Oh, science.
Science. Statistical analysis claim that the 27 Club isn't real. That the most common age for musicians to die is 56.
Well, that's less weird, though.
I mean...
Because people get health complications as they age.
Yeah.
So 27 is kind of weird. And there's a lot of very famous musicians. I feel like, I don't know.
But then you get people that, I mean, like, okay, so with Kurt Cobain, if he wanted to be a part of this club so bad, he killed himself.
Yeah.
So he put himself in the club.
Yeah, that's true. But the other people were coincidental.
I mean, maybe, or maybe Jimi Hendrix was like, let's pop these babies in my red wine and let me join this club.
Do you know he was in the army?
No.
He was a paratrooper and he jumped out of a plane and broke both his legs.
Really?
And he got out. So if he never broke his legs, there would have been no Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. But I think it's whenever you die at 27 too, it like adds to your legend.
Yeah. Like they wouldn't have been as popular.
Yeah. I don't think Kurt Cobain or Nirvana would have been as big if he didn't die in the middle of them being huge.
Yeah.
They kind of would have just faded away like every other band.
I mean, to be honest, I love the Rolling Stones, and I didn't really know too much about Brian Jones.
No, I don't. To be honest, though, I don't really know much about them except for
Mick Jagger
and Keith Richards.
Yeah.
I couldn't name any other member.
No.
I'm not a huge fan, though, but...
I like them enough to know their names.
Right.
But not Brian
all the
Jones.
members?
No.
Well.
Obviously not. Who replaced Brian Jones?
I don't know. Steve Jones.
Steve Jones, his brother. So that's, I don't know. That's, so what do you think? Do you think this is real, or do you think that this is,
I think it's coincidental. I don't think, I mean, what do you mean by is it real? Because, I mean, there are people that died at 27, but I don't think it's like a...
It's not like you're cursed and you're part of this club.
Like a rock star thing that...
Yeah.
No. I don't know. Because there are a bunch of people in it. But I don't... Like Amy Winehouse, the last one, what year was that? 2011? She was 2011. There's not really any rock stars anymore, though. So
like older, like now, you mean?
Yeah.
Or like...
There's nobody that's like Mick Jagger now.
No, just Mick Jagger.
Still? Yeah.
He's still doing it.
The 100 and he's still Mick Jagger.
Still doing it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know if it's just because now we're older and it's not as big of a thing like whenever, like, I'm so embarrassed, but like Good Charlotte. Good Charlotte was like my thing.
I remember. It used to blare.
And it used to be all over my walls, and I used to love it so much, and I'd do anything to try to get, and Paul from Good Charlotte, he was my man. He didn't know it. Yeah, he didn't know it, and he still doesn't know it.
He might now.
But I love him still. But I don't know. So I don't know if it's just because we've gotten older now and it's not like that for us anymore, or if it's just there's not bands like that people freak out about.
I just don't know of any, like...
Maybe we just don't care anymore.
I don't think so. I think just music has shifted. It's all electronic now, and it's not...
Dubstep.
There aren't really any bands, like real big bands.
Yeah.
They're like single people, like single artists.
Like what?
Like Justin Bieber. They're all single people.
How old is he?
I think he's older than...
Maybe he's going to be the newest member.
I think he's older than 27. Actually, he might be my age. Let's see. Whoop, that didn't do it. He is 26. There's still time.
There's still time, Beebs. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I would never wish that on anyone, really.
Just kidding.
But I mean, if it had to be somebody, I guess it could be the Beebs.
Yeah. Plus, I'm only like 24. Wow.
Man, he looks like he's
50.
He looks 50.
He looks a little rough.
Don't take him, though, because I love him.
Yeah, he's good.
So I don't know. I don't know what's...
Do you think it's real? Is there a phenomena going on?
I don't know. There's some things that are weird. Like, and then too, like Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison. There's been talk that they've, shared banter because they were all in that same lifestyle, and she hit him over the head with a beer bottle or something like that. And then,
she did?
Yeah, because she's crazy.
That's
and
true.
I love her. But then they both are on this list. So I don't know if it could be not so much that this is a conspiracy and that that death is coming to take, because the other side of it is okay, this dude who started all this, Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
So he sold his soul to the devil, supposedly. Mm-hmm. Did everybody else sell their soul to the devil too?
Could be. What a weird time to be a musician, though. 1911.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What is there even radio in 1911?
No. I mean, I don't know.
No.
Maybe we should ask Dad. He'd know.
But it's weird that his music it says it got famous in the 60s. That was 50 years later.
Yeah.
That's so strange.
Yeah, and he recorded 29 songs in between 36 and 37, and then he died in 38. And
then all of a sudden he got famous
afterwards.
That makes no sense.
22 years later?
Yeah.
Did I do my math right?
23.
Ooh, damn. I almost made it.
But yeah, that one's weird to me. That's weird that he's even mentioned, because I don't know. I feel like I've never heard of another musician from 1911. That was born in 1911.
Well, how many people you know sold your soul to the devil?
One now.
Maybe Robert
more.
Johnson. But I mean, maybe all these people did. Maybe that is the conspiracy theory.
So it links them all together.
Yeah. But the one that I think is weird is Kurt Cobain and Christy.
So she was in her band, Courtney Love's band.
Hole. Yes.
And they both died. Well.
And then she died 2 months after he died. Was there some sort of lover's quarrel? Did she feel guilty over the fact that he killed himself?
There's so many documentaries about her killing him.
Courtney Love?
Yeah.
She's a crazy person.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a terrible singer.
I don't know. How'd you get famous?
Kurt Cobain.
Is that really why?
No, I don't know. It's not because of her hole, I'll tell you that.
Are they bad? I couldn't name one song. You know any songs?
Oh, yeah.
Give me
What's
one.
it called?
Sing me something.
God, what is it?
Love that song. It's a good one.
This is better than that song, I tell you.
Just silence.
Yeah.
This is way better. We get in trouble. We can.
Ooh, this is not our music. We do not own the rights.
Just play something.
Wait, let me see them.
Celebrity Skin.
Yeah.
Doll parts.
No, Celebrity Skin. That's the one that's most. Oh, yeah. Make me over. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, this song's probably their best one.
She's not very attractive. What's the deal?
I don't know.
I guess Kurt Cobain wasn't the greatest looking guy either.
No. I mean, they go together like peas and carrots.
Mama said. Let's see. Let's see how nuts she looks now.
She probably looks better now. Yeah.
Huh. She's not on drugs. I wouldn't know. She looks a bit like Helga from Hey Arnold. You know? You ever seen that show?
Hey, Arnold?
Yeah. You feel it? You feel me, dog?
I don't really know about that.
Let's see.
I could see where she would be the aggressor in the relationship.
You telling me they don't look alike?
Oh, that one. We'll post that. We'll post that on Instagram, and then you be the judge.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because they always, like, allude to it, and then they never...
Well, it was at the end of the first of the book. And there is a book.
I know there's a book, but...
I actually ordered that for Evie and I to read.
The Glass Elevator?
Yeah.
Are they long books? Like novels?
Yeah, I mean, they're chapter books.
Too much for me.
Yeah, I'll give you the synopsis.
Many words. I'll read the back cover and give it back to
Can't
you.
even do research.
Oh my god. Give me a day and a half and I had to set all this up.
Hey, I came prepared. So, I don't know. So, let us know how you feel about us talking to you.
Yeah. This is the first episode, so it's going to be a little rough, but...
We're thinking about... We wanted to see how this episode went before we started dumping some money into it with getting new mics, Let us know how you like us.
Yeah.
Mystery History.
Yeah, we're on Instagram right now. Mystery History Podcast.
And we're going to have a Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
I'll probably manage that because you don't know. These young bloods don't know about Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
It's what us old folk still cling to.
YouTube channel. The video will probably be a little rough to start, but
yeah,
we'll get it figured out as we go.
Yeah. See what kind of new gear we need. I don't know. So yeah, maybe we should ask them what they think that the podcast, the better name for the podcast.
Yeah, my original name was Whiskey History.
He said it rhymed.
It kind of rhymes.
I don't hear
same sounds to it. You know?
I don't think that's true.
Maybe not a rhyme, but it's definitely got
Whiskey History.
They both got some letters, so that's something.
And then I came up with Mystery History because that sounds way better. And it makes sense because we're not going to talk about the history of whiskey. We're going to talk about the mysteries of history. Right?
Yeah.
So that was a terrible idea. But he almost sunk us before we even got started.
Oh my, please.
But I fixed it, folks. Don't you worry. And then, I don't know. Have we decided on a topic for next week? I think we should do these weekly. What do you think? Every Sunday? Mm-hmm. Get together, prepared.
Is that a shot at me?
Did you feel it?
Fucking rude.
Did I get you? Did I get you, dog?
Give me dog.
I don't know.
But once we get a following on Instagram stuff, we can have like polls we can put up and say which would rather people see.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah. We're kind of undecided at the moment. I'm thinking about maybe movies that are cursed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't done research to know how many there actually are to make sure we can get a full episode about them. But I don't know. The possibilities are endless. Mm-hmm. So, all right.
All right. Till next time.
It's a wrap. See ya.